guys, hope you had a good Christmas and an even better New Year. I know I did. Now we're into the new year. It's time to start delivering on some of the things I promised. So first up today, this is going to be our backlog and our haul video. So I need to put in a little disclaimer here. This pile of Lego that you're going to see here was not built just from Christmas. We normally build throughout the year. We normally spend, me and my partner, my wife, we normally spend, I'd probably say, a few £100s of disposable income a month on Lego. We've not built anything since about the middle to the start of October. So we have quite a haul to show you. That includes Black Friday, and that includes some real bargains. I'm going to take you through them in a moment. Not all of them, but I'm going to take you through some bits and bobs and show you some things. And then I'm also going to show you some products that I picked up at stupid prices. Right, so let's get started. First off, one that I'm looking forward to building. Definitely deserves a special mention, and this was in our top 10 video, the Gremlins Mogwai. So glad they finally made this, can't wait to build it. We picked this up in the Lego store in London in October. At that time it was actually sold out online. It wasn't even available for back order, it was completely sold out. So we picked this up then, and it's just been waiting for January for me to get round to building it. So that I'm really looking forward to building. A couple of other things that deserve a special mention. We picked this up off Amazon, the Lego Speed Champions, the Mercedes set. Now this has been out quite a while and I haven't purchased it purposely. The reason I picked it up finally off Amazon is actually the price. I think this fell to $24.99. So I picked this up at a steal. I'm going to enjoy building those cars, and that'll look great in the city. Couple more absolute bargains that we picked up. I picked this up off Amazon not so long ago at $24.99. That's the Spidey car scene from Spider-Man 2. Those of you that remember it, him holding the front of the train, stopping it falling, or subway, whatever it was, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, it's a long time since I watched that film. Yeah, that was $24.99. That finally hit a price point and I was like, yes, I shall have me some of that. So that was another good one. I'll just move some of these out of the way so I can carry on. Another set that we finally brought over Christmas that again fell to an amazing price point at $34.99 was the Star Wars sign. I'm hoping to one day pick up the Marvel sign for the same sort of price. This is my first ever Star Wars set, and it's not that I don't love Star Wars, I do love Star Wars. I've always avoided Star Wars. Now my wife brought me this for Christmas, and we've avoided Star Wars because I generally feel like it's a very saturated market. I already collect Lego Marvel, I already collect Lord of the Rings, I already collect anything from the 80s like Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, any nostalgia. I build the Lego modulars. So Star Wars was something that we kind of said in the beginning. My wife, Lego Harry Potter, Disney, Botanicals. So we have so many licenses, Batmobiles, DC. You know, I could go on, I could be here all day. We always sort of said we're not going to do Star Wars because in itself, Lego Star Wars probably is big enough on its own. It doesn't need any support. But my wife brought me this for Christmas. It was $34.99, so I can't knock that. So yeah, she knows I love a bargain, so good on her. just moving some things around so I can show you. Yeah, historical set, can't knock that. Another honourable mention definitely has to be the Game Boy. I cannot wait to build that. Yeah. I'm old enough to remember playing on a Game Boy like this, and playing both those games, ironically, Zelda and Super Mario World. And I remember playing Pokemon Red and Blue when they first came out on one of these. I was probably around 14 at the time, and I'm now sort of in my 40s. That's how long ago it was. But yes, I'm old enough to remember that, and that's another piece of nostalgia for me, along with Gizmo. Cannot wait. We paid $44.99 for that one, I think. Again, Amazon. We make good use of our Amazon Prime membership here at Bricks and Pieces. I'm not going to lie. Definitely get our money's worth. Another Amazon bargain was this one at $24.99, and I'm a bit torn with these. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, I'm a bit torn with these. I like them. I like the price points on the smaller ones. I like the fact that there's something that's playable for children. But I do wish they'd kind of given me a Marvel big modular this year. Yeah, the X-Mansion last year, which was a letdown. I've got, I haven't bought the X-Mansion still for those reasons. Sanctum Sanctorium, Avengers Tower, and the Daily Bugle I own, and now they seem to be going to this size. Now they just made an Oscorp, which I feel again needs to be bigger and better. And the problem with these is they don't have backings, so they're not modules. They're not modular. They're just like facades. So that one, watch this space. That one might be a bit of might become a modular. I'm not sure yet. I've been looking at Rebrickable Brick Artisan. Big shout out, love your work. Always looking at what you're doing, and I've seen you've done a lot on these series. So at the moment I've only picked this one up at $24.99, but let's be honest, probably going to end up with a few of the others. I know there's Peter Parker's Apartment, there's Oscorp, there's a couple, but this one hit the $24.99 price point. I was like, at that point, I'll have me some of that, thank you. So another disclaimer, of course, I'm not sponsored by anyone. This isn't my full-time job. I work in a primary school. That's my full-time job. So, you know, every penny counts. I quite often don't buy things on release day. I sometimes do if there's a GWP exclusive that I really, really must have. But quite often I don't buy things on release day. I wait a little bit till they come down in price. You know, obviously I didn't do that with Gizmo. I brought this from the Lego store as well. And in hindsight, I should have probably waited till it went somewhere else and then went on offer. But hey, again, this is a book nook. This is my first book nook. And this is the Sherlock Holmes book nook. And again, with this, it kind of feels like a facade. But the incredible level of details that are already there. So again, this is something I think I'm going to be able to work into a modular. And might have a home in the city. Again, thank you, Rebrickable Brick Artisan. Been looking at your work. I've looked at a few others, but Brick Artisan is normally my go-to rebrickable mock person. So I've been looking at what's been done with this one and getting some ideas and starting to think about what I might do with it. Definitely won't be a book nook, I can promise you. Well, actually. Mrs. Bricks and Pieces might find a good use for a book nook. She reads a lot, so maybe a book nook. But then for her, a book nook, I'd imagine, would be the Harry Potter train. So we'll see. We'll see where we go from here. But yeah, another part of our haul. Let me get some more. So again, not just my haul, this is Mrs. Brooks and Pieces haul. I'll cover some of her things now. We're building the newest Harry Potter castle. No, it's not our first Harry Potter castle. Probably about our third. A little bit of fatigue there from me. Then there's also the miniature castles. Then there's also the big castle that came out years and years ago that still hasn't retired. Now we've owned that, sold it on, and I think we're going to end up having to buy it again soon before it does actually retire. But to go with the new castle, we have the greenhouse here. I love the details they've done with this. Love some of these pieces. The mandrake root being pulled out the pot. Love the little mandrake root. So looking forward to building that. We purchased this, I think because it came on promo. I think it finally came down to, I'd like to say $24.99. I'm not 100% sure anymore, to be honest. It was quite a while ago. Personally, if this was me, I'd buy another one and make a bigger greenhouse. This opens like that on the side, as you can see from the back here. I don't know if you could make that out. Yeah, if it was me, I'd buy two and I'd make a bigger greenhouse, but I don't think Mrs. Bricks and Pieces will, so we'll see. Carrying on with the Harry Potter theme, while we were in London, she also picked up, just to make a purchase, to make a GWP, picked up 2 HP briquettes, lunar ancestral. So that's interesting. She's really looking forward to Luna's house coming out on January the 1st. I have a feeling she'll be purchasing that on release day. And then the flying lessons, which is the only piece of the current castle that we don't have. And by that I don't mean we don't have the dueling class, we don't have one of the classrooms, and the reason is you actually have to take a bit out to put those in, and then you've got this spare piece that doesn't really go anywhere. But from the main actual modules, this is the we've got the main tower, we've got the Great Hall, we've got the owlery, and we've got the boathouse, and the greenhouse down there, obviously. So now she's got the flying lesson. I think this retired this year. I'm not sure. I know it's retiring soon. That's why we grabbed it now. We had to pay. No, we did get this on offer again on Amazon over Black Friday. I think this was, and I think it was reduced down to about £60-ish. I think. But yes. So I very rarely pay full price for anything. Ironically, it's the lesson you're suddenly realising. Apart from, like here, the Butt Nook and Gizmo. But even then, they were brought on a gift with purchase weekend. We were in London anyway, and I just spent a fortune on Pick-a-Brick as it was, which I covered in a previous video. A little set that I picked up purely for the Anti-Venom minifigure. Those that know me well know I love my symbiotes. I didn't have an Anti-Venom. So I needed an Anti-Venom. I've got lots of Carnage, lots of Venom. I still need the Carnage head. I don't have Carnage's head, I've got Venom's head. I don't know why I never picked it up, and it came out and retired quick. It had a short shelf life, Carnage did. Him and Iron Man are the two heads I still need. I've got Venom, Star-Lord and Spidey. So I need to pick up those other two at some point. They're both retired now, so it'll be an eBay purchase, just to finish those off. But obviously I have Wolverine's claws and the two gauntlets on that same shelf, so that shelf's already quite full, which is probably why I haven't gone and got them yet. But I should do it soon. Anyway, I'm waffling on. Very little set, nice little kids set, but 2 minifigures. Spider-Man, I mean, I've got so many Spider-Men now, it's like Batman, I've got so many minifigures of that one character. But I purchased this purely for the Anti-Venom. The rest of the parts will probably end up in my parts, I'll be honest. I'm not even sure if I'll bother building them next. A couple more for Mrs. Bricks and Pieces, little sets, nice little sets for kids. 101 Dalmatians, the little one. We don't have the big one yet. Yet she picked this up as a spur of the moment purchase. I think we were in shop one day and they just had it. And boom. She was like, I don't have that yet. Let's get it. It's only, I think it was 15 quid, 20 quid. Not expensive. Good if you've got kids and you want a little purchase. Another one I know she's looking forward to building, she's really excited about, is this Wally and Eve. Now, we weren't collecting Lego when the original Wally came out, and for some reason I've not ever gone back and got one for her, which I probably should have. But here we have Disney's Wally and Evie. She'll love building those. Again, this was in my top 10 of the year, so I know she'll be excited about that. Our next little set, you know, there's a lot of little sets, not many big ones, was forks. Again, this was a spur of the moment random pickup. I think we paid about £14 for forks here, not a lot. It's not an expensive set anyway, and yeah, she'll probably put that together in about 10 minutes now. Yeah, she's got given Toucan for Christmas. Now, I hadn't seen this set before. I was actually very impressed by it, not gonna lie. Some of the creative 3-in-1 animals really do knock it out the park in a way that you know you just don't understand or give credit to. And while I mentioned earlier our trip to London, the GWP at the time was the Disney set, so we got the Pixar TV with Woody and Simba, and yes, so that is another thing she's got to build, another one that went in our pile. I've also got a spare one of those, but I have quite a lot of GWPs that I keep, because one day I might actually get round to doing some eBay selling. I am awful when it comes to getting round to doing selling. It is probably my biggest downfall. I have GWPs from about 2 years ago just sat upstairs gathering dust, but it's fine, I'll do it one day. I'm just not big on selling things online. It's a lot of hassle. Don't mind the packing and the posting bit, it's the dealing with the people, and there's a lot of con artists out there trying to actually, you know, claim they haven't received something they had and so on and so forth, and I don't like that, you know, that's too risky for me. Anyway, back to where I was, Wally and Evie. Right, we're going to move on to a couple of bigger sets, not massive, but a couple of bigger sets. Right, so the next one, Amazon price match Very on it, and in my case I brought it from Amazon. So Very, we're doing this for $99.99 and Amazon price matched it. So you might say, well, you know, you keep plugging Amazon, but I'll be honest, I know they're a multi-corporate company, I know a lot of people aren't fond of them because of the tax, and I know they hurt small business, but ultimately, we all use them. Let's not deny it. Let's, you know, what's the point? We all use it, and in my case, you know, $9.99 for my Mario Kart to go on my Nintendo shelf with my Game Boy to build as well. Yeah, that was this is a good pickup, and I'm looking forward to building this one. Since it's been announced, this one's been on my list. I've obviously got the movable Mario and Yoshi thing. I've got Koopa, I've got the Piranha, and I've got Zelda Great Deku Tree. I don't have the Mystery Cube that came out a few years ago, and I still don't have the Nintendo console. Both of those are retired. I will pick them up at some point, I just haven't. The Nintendo console, probably more than the Mystery Cube. The Mystery Cube was kind of like, but the Nintendo console looks awesome, not gonna lie. And now I've got a Game Boy as well, so well done, Lego. You've got me. Just move this one to one side. Right, next up is something for the city. Woohoo! I haven't had one of those to mention so far today, have I? No. This was the tram train whatever you want to call it, overground train that came out last. Downtown Tram. There we go. Thank you, Lego. Came out last year. Probably retiring soon because City tends to have about a year shelf life. For me, this is, I'm probably going to buy some monorail track and a monorail motor, and this is going to be the carriage for my monorail. I think that's where I'm leaning towards. But I really like the design. A friend of mine said, "Oh, I'm going to use mine as my underground, my London." I've made an underground train station, so he's now thinking of the same. Personally, for me, this isn't underground. There's too many windows on the side. Underground tubes in London, they're not that open. This is an overground train, tram. So if I'm going to convert it, it's going to go to monorail for me. Need to pick up a monorail motor, and then I will probably head over to Trix Bricks for some track. If you've never used Trix Bricks, I can't recommend them enough. Yes, it's not real Lego, but for track they do some things that Lego don't. They make sharp corners, they make switches, they make all the things for Lego train enthusiasts that Lego don't. And that's just really good. It fits with Lego. You'd never know it's not real. It's the only, I am what I like to call a purist. It's the only exclusion I will make, Trix Bricks, because Lego don't make these bits of track that we all need. So there's my exclusion. And they make monorail, and therefore it makes monorail track affordable. I just need to find a motor. They're on Britlink. They're about £50 to £60, and I just can't bring myself to buy one, which is typical. Right, there's only a couple left, and personally I've saved my best to last. Right, no, there's one more after this. This isn't the best to last. This is the tip or scrapyard, whatever you want to call it. In the UK we'd probably call it a tip. Some people would call it a scrapyard. Yeah. I brought this off Amazon Spain. And I think it was about £40 with shipping. It was on a promotion. There were lots of sets in this promotion with a voucher that brought it down to about £40 with shipping, which is why I purchased it. I don't know if this will go in the city because I don't think I have space for a scrapyard, and I don't think I'm willing to put that much space aside just for a scrapyard. But it's a nice set, and it was only 40 quid. I say only, but yeah, 40 quid for this set. I don't know what the RRP is on it. I can't remember. I have a feeling it's about 70 or 80. But yeah, 30 quid. 40 quid shipped. So I think it was 34 on promotion with the voucher, and then obviously you pay a bit of shipping and customs from Amazon Spain. But here it was, and it came within about a week, delivered by DPD. I like DPD. Good work. Royal Mail and DPD are my two favourite couriers. Everybody has their own opinion though, so we don't really need a whole video on if your local DPD or your local Royal Mail courier are awful, or if you've had a bad experience, because it really varies person to person. But yeah, we've got the scrapyard. Right, last but not least, something that's retired. So this was in the Black Friday deals. I didn't buy it then. Didn't buy it then because I didn't have the money to. But about 2 weeks later, after I'd been paid, I walked into Birmingham Discovery Centre, so not the Bull Ring, the Discovery Centre, where I quite often go and chat to the manageress. She's a lovely woman, Lindsay. Big shout out, Lindsay. Yeah, picked up some parts as I normally do. And they're on a shelf where it had been sold out on Lego.com because of Black Friday. And nowhere had it on the shelf for quite a while. What did I find? myself a Lion Knight's castle. Now, I was brought up in the generation of Lego of Pirates, Islanders, Castle. These were all the rage when I was a kid. So Castle has a special place in my heart. I don't own an awful lot of it. I did a big piece on the old Creator 3-in-1 Castle. I built Black Fountain's Master Keep. You can find that in my videos. I have the medieval blacksmith icons. I have the town hall that recently got retired. I have some other bits like Pirates of Barracuda Bay, and yeah, I've got the Viking Village, and yeah, I've just got some of the bits and bobs from those eras, but Lion Knight's Castle has been on my list, and I just, for some reason, I've never popped the question, but there it was on the shelf, and I didn't even think twice, didn't even think about how I was going to carry it back to the car that day, but off I went with my Lion Knight's Castle. What a ball ache it was getting that back to Evesham from Birmingham, but it was worth it, every penny. So yes, my Lion Knight's Castle. Now, I was obviously planning to buy a Lion Knight's Castle at some point, and the reason I say this is because about a year ago on the Pick-a-Brick wall, I picked up some spare Lion Knights. Obviously I need to give them heads and accessories, but looks like I was planning my Lion Knight's Castle maybe a year ago. And yeah, I've got some parts, so I shall start this in the next few days. I might make a video of me building this. Would you like to see that? I'll pump out some videos in the next week or so of me building some of these bits. Anyway, that is my haul since, you know, about October to now. I hope you enjoyed it. We're the day after Boxing Day, so we're heading towards January the 1st releases. Obviously there's still other stuff to build, you know, the Black Pearl, the Goonies, the Enterprise, all of these have come out recently. And then, yeah, this little lot, and January the 1st you get all the new sets. But I'll give you more information on those and cover those in a later video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button. It really helps us feed the channel. Give us a subscribe if you want. Follow along, see what we're doing. Remember, we're not a big YouTuber. We are just a bloke and his Lego collection. And thank you for listening to me waffle. Alright, take care, look after yourselves. Happy building.